And it didn't just start with these new generation of artists from the days of Osibisa, from Kanda Bongo Man, from the African sound has always been big, and elsewhere they know, because they know some great records that have sampled
African music,
and they can feel it, and they know the kind of successes those kind of records that were sampled from Africa made in their industry. I know Grammy would always be Grammy, but in as much as we are yearning to have Grammy,
it's been described as the most prestigious music award scheme all over the world.
So
is it because it's in America?
Not just because it's in America, but maybe they have been consistently consistent, and they have found a way to imprint that in the minds of people. Because why would a brand like Jay-Z be crying that
the wife has not won album of the year
before? He's a business mogul, and I'm a successful rapper and all that. So it's one of the biggest to Ghana to have an artist out there to be nominated even has become the biggest feat. A lot of people talking about it, even getting nominations.
Yeah, Rocky Daoni has had a number of nominations yet to win.
Yes.
And then
and we consider that one as a big feat.
Yeah.
So it doesn't come that easy. But I understand how their system has been. And at a point they wanted to rub in the African artists and their sound onto the scheme. But now they can sit back and realize that no, when we do that, we are not being fair to that market. So it's only right for them to say that no, let's do the Grammy Africa. Yes. Do you know? Because they cannot prioritize what you do about pop music. Never.
So then it's not relevant for them to even start Grammy Africa. Because in Africa, we know ourselves. We want to enter the American market. Why are you telling us Grammy Africa?
But why not Grammy Africa if they wanted you to be on the Grammy?
Then it's not necessary they establish Grammy Africa.
That's what I'm saying, that I'm looking at it, with two lenses. The first lens is that the recognition of the African sound and creatives from Africa. Now, we have realized that, okay, there is a market which has already gotten some acceptance in our market. The Remeds, the Burna Boys.
You can talk of Tyler now. Davido, Burna Boy.
A whole lot. The King Promises, all of them are making inroads in there. And they know. No, the Amapiano sound, you can actually go down to the definition that they give to the African music performance and know the different sounds that they have found from the continent.
Yeah.
Even not limited to those in that, or those that were captured in there. So it tells them that the sound from Africa is growing and growing at a faster pace. And we are the grand masters. And if there is anything that we need to do, let's tap into that market as well. This is a business entity, and they understand the business of what they are doing. And music business has a lot of collaborators, of which Grammy as the Recording Academy is one. And one of their brainchild is Grammy Awards. And now they are thinking about getting or stamping authority on the African continent. What would be best to do? It will have a different scheme that will cater for that market that is yet to be tapped by any of the biggest award schemes around the world.
So you feel that in as much as yes, there's a recognition of the great strides by African music, the acceptance in America typically, it is again business as usual for the Grammys. Let's not forget, if you look at the markets that are big, America is, of course, that's where they are. It's the biggest market for them.
Yeah.
And even to have a nomination in any category in the Grammys, you must have distributed your music in America. You should have been big in America. That's one of the easiest qualifications for you to get into the Grammys. And so for America, it's home.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's home. But they also have the Latin Grammy Awards. And you know, the Latin market is also one big market. Now Africa is on the rise. And so
anyway, technically now you are coming to where I am. You know, when they see that the market is lucrative, why can't we create and capture or conquer? Now, Latin, you know, I mean, when you go to that part of the world,
the J Balvins and all those people,
they are doing, when it comes to the numbers game, maybe some time to come, if not the sensitive nature of how the partnership between America and Asia is like, they would have gotten probably something for the Asia content, because BTS.
I mean, if you talk about that sound as well,
I mean, Upper Goddamn Star, they know that market, they know, but because of probably where they are coming from and like the kind of,
the political stuff,
stuff, they wouldn't go there. But Africa, it's a vibe. Africa, and now, if they are coming up with Grammy Africa, it means that it is just going to be competitive
among African artists.
And
but we've had Kora Awards, we've had
MTV
Awards. Yes, MTV Mamas from South Africa. We've had all those awards. I mean, even at some point, I remember that one of these organizers, Afrima, wanted to partner with Ghana for Afrimas and all that. How different will be the Grammy Awards? Is it that they just realize that, listen, Africans more awards do and you say big award schemes.
No, they know how Africans are yearning. I mean,
to be associated with
they see the kind of performance sheets that are being submitted on behalf of African artists for consideration, and they've realized that no, there is an untapped market, because if you are to get about, let's say, 100 artists from Africa who are always knocking on our doors to get that kind of nomination into a category.
Yeah, just one category.
Yes, and later we've actually realized that no, there are some of them that we need to also get them on board in other areas, because they believe that they've also qualified, or the criteria for considering an artist in a category, they have met it, because they've gotten their distribution done in America and all everything. But when they're able to add them on, it becomes a bit problematic, because now an African from a continent of probably Africa, not entirely, but representing maybe Nigeria or Ghana, competing with somebody from one of the biggest markets when it comes to arts or entertainment, how the competition be?
So it means that Grammy Africa is more like is a fair play for African, is a fair play grounds for African artists.
Certainly. Why would this is a record academy or recording academy that has been in existence for 65 plus years.
Let's not forget, if they decide to set up Grammy Africa, obviously you wouldn't have the same authorities in America spearheading everything. Even though they might have influence, you need academy members from across Africa and all that, with a bit of supervision from those in America and all that. If you were an artist, would you be proud of, or would you be proud associating yourself with Grammy Africa?
Yes and no.
First, yes. Why?
Okay, yes, because now it's another opportunity to also see maybe the metrics that are going to be used in that award scheme is going to be different from, if it's going to be very different from the very existing ones, then probably you would also find that, okay, there's a new market and there's a new thing that we are doing, and I'm able to also fit in there. And as a creative, it's not always about the awards, but it's about, getting the recognition that you are doing something out there. With or without the awards, you are still who you are. We've seen artists who have boycotted many award schemes around the world, so you can still make it big without these awards. But the ratings would always also consider those things as well. No, because one, we have seen so many of such awards from our side already. We've seen the Mobiles, we've seen the Afrimas, we've seen a whole lot of other, African. We've seen, like Hades from Nigeria.
Yeah, Hades from Nigeria.
And we've seen GMA from Ghana. So,
but these are particularly restricted to the countries.
No, I am.
But for maybe MTV Mamas and all the Kora Awards, which was more African and all
mobile and all that. So I am just saying that what is going to be that thing about it? Because if we already have these ones in place,
maybe the name alone. This is a brand. This is Grammys we are talking about, for crying out loud.
Yes. So you be the Grammy African artist, not Grammy.
It's still Grammy. We have Forbes Africa. We have Forbes.
But you see, so the competition
wouldn't
like be
franchise.
No. So the competition wouldn't be that you have one Grammy, which you were so enviable about.
But it's still a Grammy.
No, it doesn't make it so.
No, you still want a Grammy.
No. Okay. So is anybody who has been to the law school a lawyer?
No.
So you can actually have been to a law school. It doesn't make you a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
So you can actually bear the name Grammy, but it doesn't make you the Grammy that you are looking up to. There was at a point in time, we know how our artists have been.
No, but if you look at the Latino Grammys, for instance, it's as prestigious as
how many Ghanaians have filed for that one?
No, but that's restricted to a market, the Latino market.
So be it. So if the Grammy Africa is restricted to the African market, and you are not competing with where you thought the competition was, because you wanted a market which is bigger than where you are. You wanted to compete and win over them because your sound is already out there. And now we are saying that the competition here is too keen that you can't compete fairly. Probably there is something that we need to also protect as well. They have their sound that they are protecting. And I'm saying that no sound would ever be accepted in America than pop music, and we know.
Yeah, pop music, country music. The Country Music Awards in America is the biggest award scheme. Forget the Grammys.
Forget it.
Yeah.
So they have something that they are protecting.
So do you think Grammy Africa, the creation of Grammy Africa, is more like a limitation of the Africans, attempts to enter the American market?
They may, by so doing, get some few people who represent in the major one as well. I said, Obo Ufieria, Mwambe winning, maybe artist of the year, Grammy Africa, no, or maybe compete or top one. It could be that in just a mobile League One or her, my boat, you hasi. On Tibia. Mobile second division, first division of your by second division, Premier League. And they may have a way of just trying to also see
the African market into it again.
Who is doing it big in Africa? But there's been times that we are to file this here, we are to file that there, but we are not able to get or ascertain who really is doing what in Africa. So let's create the Grammy Africa, get them to compete themselves, get the best out of them, and probably we will narrow a few of them into the main Grammy Awards.
Unfortunately, they don't do that for the Latinos, so I don't think they are going to do that for Africa.
So it means that the best music African performance category is what? Yes, is so what
that would be more like the artist of the year for Africa. Africa Grammy.
Who's a sound be Africa? Amapiano wo ho, High Life wo ho, we wo ho, Zouk wo ho, Bongo Flavor wo ho. So now, if you go to East Africa, we talk about Bongo Flavor. When you go to South Africa, we talk about Kweto, we talk about Amapiano. So now, if we are talking about the African continent, now the competition is between the Africans and who is representing what and who has been very effective on the continent. Now, we are using our metrics and we go like Obi Awakobo America, Obi Awaboto UK, Obi Awaboto ha, and now they are bringing it to your doorstep into Kobo to impress your people.
So that could be a good thing as well. Now listen, concentrate on your market, build your market as well.
Our market is not as big yes.
The African market. Listen, look at Africa's population. Imagine if you are playing shows.
We
in
are not
Tanzania.
United States of Africa.
No, but what I'm saying
we are
is
divided states of Africa.
But don't you think this whole thing could be a good thing for artists in Africa to also want to start exploring the African market? I've made mention of the fact that we've been here when the likes of Kaki, Kwame Eugene, Kidi, and all those have played shows in Togo, Senegal,
Gambia,
in war-torn Liberia, and all that. And they've sold out stadiums, big markets out there. But our artists are always concentrated on, we want to go and do the O2 Arena in the UK. We want to sell out some clubs in Europe. And then we are focused on Ghana. But Africa is just next door. It's as big as anything. Consumption of music on the African continent per data is on the rise, like stew.
It could be on the rise like stew, but maybe you never eat it because the rice may not be nice as you want it to
be. Guys, we are live on Facebook. You can join the conversation as well. And let's get talking.
And why? AFCON can never be World Cup. Can it be?
But that's our own World Cup.
That's our own. So you creating AFCON for us, is it news to us?
But if you win the AFCON, you are proud of that.
No, I'm saying creating, because we already have AFCON. So we have AFCONs. We already have AFCON. So many AFCONs. Afrima, AFCON. We have who again?
Cora
was AFCON.
MTV Mamas,
AFCON.
Afrima,
YFM.
Mobo, AFCONs. All these are AFCON competitions. We know the Champions League and everything. But
you still want to play.
We wanted to play at the World Cup. And we have what it takes to compete.
So it's more like FIFA saying, listen, yes, Africa, you guys are good, so concentrate on your AFCON. We will also play our own out there.
Then World Cup.
And see, just like the Grammys, we have the Grammys. It's not called Grammy USA. It's called Grammys. But then we have Grammy Latin Grammy, and now you have Grammy Africa.
So you see where the point is.
So you don't think it's a good thing? It's business as usual for the Grammys.
Oh, well, I mean, they are not for the Christmas, but I admit that it's good because getting the attention of the world to a sound or to the creators in this side is super. It's good for the music industry. It's good for the growth of the industry. It's good for artists to also explore, and that's all about it. But I am not, just saying that the Grammy Africa is here, so now we are no, please. So it's gonna be one of the African awards already in existence.
So it looks like you are more like, okay, unperturbed, like, okay, meeting baby, I'm fine. It's nothing.
And do you think
to be too much excited
NY,
about?
Ask yourself, do you think our artists who have been filing for Grammy nomination consideration and all that, if Grammy Africa is instituted, now they are going to be so fixated about it that they want to win Grammy Africa?
Yeah, they still will.
And still have that bragging right of winning a Grammy.
Yes, they've won a Grammy.
Until it was actually scaled to Africa, you could have never won.
We've had others win. Angelique Kidjo has won. Burna Boy has won.
No, I'm just saying that when you win in Africa, even those who actually won in those categories, you can see where it's about African artists. Still, we are boxed in a way.
Yeah, we are not able to compete in all the other major categories.
The other categories where Burna Boy was nominated, did he win any of them?
No.
And if he had won in any of those categories over those people that he was competing, what would have been the bragging right? Different. So if you win among your people, we know. Who doesn't know Burna Boy is one of the big stars from Africa? Who doesn't know?
So if he wins a Grammy Africa award,
tell me a single African who doesn't know that Burna Boy is big. Tell me a single African who doesn't know Davido is big. Tell me a single African who doesn't know Wizkid is big. We know them already. Stonebwoy is big. We know Shatta Wale is big. Sarkodie is big. We know. You are not to tell us that they are big. We know them already. But we know for sure that they can compete with your market, because the artists that you hail so high, you hold so up high, no, those kind of phobia, one can start saying you can't say empty, but no one numbers, no. So we wanted to compete there and show you.
So they are protecting their market.
Anyway. No, yes, I was sound now. Baby, no. Never be competing on no market, no creative over the years.
Because over the past few years, look at a song like Rema and then
Selena Gomez
song shattered almost every record. You have Chris Brown, who has been one of the biggest proponents of Afrobeats. He's been with it since. You've had Justin Bieber tap along. You had Wizkid tap along. I said Wizkid. Drake. You had almost all the big artists.
Drake and Wizkid, yeah,
almost all the big artists tapping along to Afrobeats. A lot of them are beginning to do collaborations,
and most of them too are sampling.
Yes, I mean I've seen Swiss Beats do a lot of African samples and all that. Timbaland is working on a number of sampling from African music.
Sierra jumped on it. I mean, so and you see, I don't want to go these political lines, but they are smart and they know what they are up to. And please, we know our artists are big, but we wanted to compete in the World Cup, not an AFCON.
Well, Ghana missed out on an opportunity to be able to be part of the founding nations of Grammy Africa. We will talk about that when we are back from this. But remember that we can strike out malaria with award-winning herbal medicine in Ghana and across Africa.